Hey you guys, Laura here, and today we're going to go over 6 different stretches that you can do on your own time, whether it's before a workout, after a workout, or on your recovery day. That's going to really help to stretch out some of those muscles that can get tight that attach into the pelvis. So the stretches that we're going to go over are going to help you to stretch your outer hip, your lower back, your inner thigh, your hip flexor, and your hamstring. So stretching all of these guys out over time, if you're consistent with it, is going to really help to improve your hip mobility, your flexibility, and it's going to help you to generate more power during your workouts, during your runs, during your sport. The more flexibility we have, we're going to start to reach an optimal length tension relationship in your body, which just allows your body, your muscles to access and create more force, more power for what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So whether you're a runner or whether you're just using these stretches to help to alleviate pain and discomfort, tightness in the body also translates to pain in the body. So these will be beneficial for you whether you're just trying to look to just improve your flexibility to decrease pain, or whether you're looking to get better at whatever active hobbies that you have. Let's go ahead, and all you need is a mat. So meet me at the mat and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, I want you to come to a kneeling position here, and I have my knees about hip width apart here, and I'm gonna step my leg that's away from you forward kind of into a half lunge position. So my heel is gonna come to the ground. This back leg, I am gonna keep it flat. My right side is a little bit tight today. I had leg day yesterday, so already in this position, I can feel the stretch starting to happen in my thigh and in the front of my hip. But what I want you to do is I want you to see, are your hip bones square? Can you see your big toe? And I want a slight press forward, so you can see that I'm shifting my weight forward, but I'm not coming forward towards my knee. I'm not trying to bring this past my toes. I just slightly lean forward, tucking my pelvis underneath me to find the stretch through the front side of my hip. You can, to exaggerate the stretch, lift the arm of the same side leg up to the sky. So now I definitely felt that intensify through the front side of my hip here. Hand can come to your thigh for balance. Mine's on my hip. And I can also, if I have the balance, lean over like a rainbow. And now I feel the stretch through the front of my thigh and also through my side body here. But I want to make sure that my hand isn't just like bent over. I have it straight. I'm reaching with energy. And that energy of the arm long out of my waist is what creates that stretch through the side of my waist as well. You're holding the stretch for about 30 seconds. I'll keep it shorter for today. And then we're going to take our hands to the floor. You can tuck your toes now, and I want you to lengthen your front leg. In my case, it's my left leg. And you're trying to stretch through the backside of your hamstring here. So I'm not sitting my weight onto my heel. And if I need to, I can scoot this leg back, or if you need to, you can scoot the leg back so you have a little bit more room to scoot back. But I'm trying to keep my hip bone square. I think about my belly pulling in and off my thigh. And I really think that I'm trying to reach my leg long as I'm trying to lengthen through the back side of my leg here, my thigh bone, my hamstring. Both hands are to the ground, shoulders are down my back. You're going to hold for about 30 seconds. Another variation of these two exercises that I just showed you is you could come to this tall kneel position, go into a hip flexor stretch, hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come into that hamstring stretch, hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Typically, you want to really feel like you've mastered that static stretching, so that's that 30-second hold, before you start going into this active stretching where we're moving in between two different exercises here, or two different stretches. So that's one option for you. Next, for your inner thigh, I'm going to turn the camera, and then I'm going to also stretch my leg. Oop, there goes my mic pack. Now for an inner thigh stretch. I have one knee underneath my hip. I have my other leg trying to reach my pinky toe away. And I'm going to try to sink down once again, hip to heel. And I can feel that exaggerate the stretch through the inner thigh, closest towards my pelvis. And then you can come out of it if you're going through the active stretch, or you can sink and hold into it for static stretch, 30-second hold, reaching the leg away, pulling the belly in, and just relaxing, resting into it. My butt is not seated on my heel. I have space there. If your butt is seated onto your heel, then something needs to change with where your legs are. Maybe it needs to come forward a little bit more or backwards a little bit more. Play around with it. But we don't want to be seated like this because this isn't necessarily the best position for your knee to be in for long periods of time. Like I said, we go into our active. You can sit and press. You feel that glute turn on to stabilize you at the top. Okay? That is going to stretch through your inner thigh, up closest, those adductors up closest where they insert onto your pelvis. Another variation that you could do to help stretch those inner thighs is also a nice butterfly stretch here. So you press those knee bones down. You can feel this. I feel this at least a little bit more through the top side versus the underside of my adductors. And it also helps me stretch a little bit more out of my lower back and into my outer hips as well. So this is one for you. Static stretch, belly in, those knee bones press down to the ground, and you hold it here. Milk the stretch. Wait until that tendon, the Golgi tendon, just relaxes. It'll send a signal to your body and you'll feel a change. But feel a little bit uncomfortable at first, but after 30 seconds, there should be a notable difference to your body signaling system where it just kind of relaxes into it. Still feeling the stretch, but it should feel a little bit more bearable. Next, since we're seated on the ground here, I'm going to turn so that I'm facing the long way of my mat. Here we're going to be doing the Beauty Queen. So this is one we're going to take my closest leg to the camera, and you're going to bend it and step it over your opposite leg. Take the outside of your shoulder to come against your leg and go into a little bit of a twist. Your back arm is pulling the shoulder down the back, and you have this push going on against the thigh bone as you also try to push the heel bone into the ground and try to rotate. And you can feel a stretch happening through the outside of your hip. So for me, it's kind of like this back meaty part here. So not where I sit on, but a little bit more above it. And you're going to hold it here. Ideally, we want to hold our stretches for about 30 seconds, and that's going to let the system inside of the muscle just really relax into the stretch. So it might feel a little bit uncomfortable at first, but hold on to it, sit into it, breathe into it, deep breaths. And after 30 seconds, you should feel it slightly start to relax. Maybe it'll relax all the way. I don't know. Depends on your body. Then you're going to face forward. Both hands are going to come onto the ground. And I want you to bend your left knee so that your right knee opens to the sky. So it kind of just depends on what leg was out in front. So my straight leg bent and my knee bone opened. And now I am going into a seated figure four stretch. I want you to open the shoulders, push proud through the chest, and try to sit up as tall as you can as your right knee tries to open. So once again, you're stretching through the back side of the hip, the side of the hip, your piriformis, lengthening through the chest. And now the stretch has also moved a little bit more underneath. So now instead of being up high, it's kind of shifted for me to go underneath my hip bone. You can also exaggerate this stretch by laying down onto your back and bringing your hand one through the window underneath your leg and bringing a little bit of a hug in. Maybe you even utilize your elbow to help you stretch your knee out towards the side. But we're not trying to force anything anywhere. It's not like I'm really pushing on it to open this knee to the side. It's just a gentle press to help open up the side of my hip, the side of my back. My core is engaged. You could be laying down here. That pulls the thigh bone in a little bit more, and that in and of itself also exaggerates the stretch. But for me, it's a little bit more comfortable to stay with my head, neck, and shoulder lifted up. All right, you guys, and those are all of the stretches that we're going to be going over today. Hopefully you feel so long and refreshed. Remember, we only did one side, so go ahead and put this video back on repeat if you need a little reminder over the exercises that we did, and do the other side, please. You want to be even, you want to be symmetrical. If there is any other places that we miss that are tight on your body that you would like a video dedicated to it, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. Or if there's anything that you're wanting to learn more about, go ahead and message me as well in the comments, or you can find me on Instagram. And if we're not connected there, let's please connect there. And I am always posting stuff over there, usually daily, on either my stories or my hard posts on how to help you create an optimal body, a more functional, healthier, happy moving body. So subscribe to my page, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, if you felt relief in your hip joints, and I will catch you next time.